I'm going to give you an example of some shadow work that I did with myself today, and then there's a very deep moral to the story at the end. So today I was listening to a video about the dark side of the Cabal by Rabbi Simon Jacobson, I believe. Great speaker, amazing epiphanies. I agreed with everything that he said. In fact, I had come to a lot of those realizations on my own at some point, and it was great confirmation to hear from somebody else who had actually studied the material. Yet, as I was listening to him, I was feeling very uncomfortable in my spirit, and I wanted to shut it off and not listen anymore. Now, I could have just followed that emotion, shut it off, and not thought twice about it, which is what most people would do, but that's not doing your shadow. So I asked myself, why? Why is this making me uncomfortable if I agree with what he's saying? And I think it's amazing, and it's a great confirmation of what I already was discovering for myself. And what I found was extremely uncomfortable, because it revealed an extremely egotistical side of myself that I didn't want to admit existed. It was the part of me that was screaming, no! Now if I share my thoughts, they're going to think I stole it from this creator. It's that egotistical viewpoint that you can own a concept or an idea. It's exactly where the thought of gatekeeping comes from. All truth comes from source. It doesn't originate in our tiny little finite minds. And it doesn't belong to any of it. And the only reason why I would care about the fact that somebody said it before me is because I wanted to elevate myself to some kind of status or a reputation where people would be looking up to me somehow. That's the exact opposite of what we want to be doing in this lifetime. Yes, I do talk a lot about how we are deity, but we are a tiny part of a whole, and only together are we actually divine. The goal shouldn't be to impress other people or to elevate yourself above anybody else. It's just to share the knowledge and get it out there so that we can all become elevated together. And I give credit to those that I enjoy their work because they put the work in there to put it out there in a way that's easily understandable. And so for that, they deserve credit. But also, I have to remember, credit isn't why we do these things. Fame and fortune shouldn't be the ultimate goal. And the only reason why we tend to strive for those things is because on a deeper level, we don't believe that we're actually worthy. And when we realize that we are and we don't have anything that we need to prove in the first place, it becomes easier not to project that ego out. I recently had a friend tell me that he's tired of this whole dualistic thing and he just wanted to learn to accept himself, all sides of himself, but he felt that that would somehow be indulging in those darker aspects. If you run bravely into the dark, you're going to run directly into the light eventually because it's a circle. That ended too abruptly for me to drive my point home, which is just this idea of running head first into the dark without fear in order to run straight into the light. Because yin and yang is not a line with one extreme on either end. It's a circle where each extreme bleeds into the other. And I had a friend inbox me saying that he wishes that he could fully accept himself, but he feels like when he does that, he's actually indulging in his darker side, his shadow aspect. But accepting our shadow aspects is not the same as indulging in them. I think the easiest way to describe this is just to have you imagine that your shadow is your friend that's trauma dumping on you. She's been through a lot, it's okay. But as their friend, do you think that it would be an accepting thing for you to do to say, go hide in a closet until you can get your act together? Which is what we do when we ignore or repress or suppress our shadow aspect. Or do you think it would be a great idea to listen to him talk with the only motive in mind being that you're going to shove your advice down his throat without caring about how he feels about it? That's what we do when we keep insisting, no, we have to constantly be moral and upright, and there's no validation for how that shadow aspect feels or why it's there. Not saying we shouldn't value morality. We should. Or do you think it's accepting to listen to them trauma dump and say things like, for example, I don't want to do this anymore, I just want to end it all, and then your response is like, yeah, do it, which would be the same as indulging the shadow aspect? Or would it be accepting for you to sit with them and to listen in order to understand, and through that understanding help them remember who they are and what they're actually deserving of, and the fact that they have the capabilities to actually achieve what they deserve. That's what shadow work is. It's asking yourself the right questions in order to fully understand where you're coming from, why you make the decisions that you make, why you feel the way that you feel. And by continually asking deeper and deeper questions, you come to this place of understanding, and that understanding sets you free from the need to act out your shadow aspects.